Hello, my little explorers. You might be a little bored sitting at home, right? So, do you want to take a tour around my country? No, 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 no. You don't need your passports or you don't need to pack your bags. But today, I can take you through my entire beautiful land of India. I can show you the India's heritage, India's culture. I can take you from north to south, from east to west, and I can take you to each and every part of India. Yes, and you do not even have to get out of your seat. Do you want to come with me? All right, let's go, explorers. Let's fly. So, today I will be talking about Indian heritage and culture. Now, have you visited any historic monument anywhere in India? Can you guess things about people who built the monument? And like I've been to certain places. On the top of the head, I can remember that I've been to Taj Mahal, I've been to Golden Temple, and these are beautiful places. So, what are these? These monuments? Let's first of all learn about these monuments. So monuments, they play a very important role in preserving the rich cultural heritage and history of India. Now, before we understand cultural heritage and all that, what exactly is culture and what exactly is heritage? Let's look. Culture. So Google says culture means the arts and other manifestation of human intellectual activity regarded collectively, or ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. So, when we talk about Indian culture, we are talking about Indian customs, Indian ideas, or Indian art, and how people live in India. That is our culture. Now, let's understand heritage. Heritage means property that is inherited or it is given to us from our older generation. So, what our forefathers and what our people before us they used to live in India, those buildings, those landmarks that are given us, they have become our heritage. So, what is cultural heritage? Cultural heritage means it is an expression of the ways of living developed by a community, passed on from generation to generation. So that means that it is a style of living or a way of living which has been passed on to us from generation. Like I get my culture from my father, he must have got it from his father and his father, and so on. So from generations this culture comes down, and it includes customs, practices, places, objects, art, values, even festivals, or whatever things that you do in your country. That is your cultural heritage. So Indian cultural heritage means whatever has been passed on in India from our ancestors, and monuments, they play a very important role in preserving the rich cultural heritage of an ancient history of India. Monuments were frequently built to mark an important occasion or event in history. Whenever any ruler, any king or people of India, whenever they wanted to mark something important, they would build they would build a monument, and this monument stays with us till today, reminding us of that event. They are important symbols of different periods in India's long history. Now, monuments also show the architectural growth of India from past to present, like what kinds of buildings were made before, today what kind of buildings are made. So we can see the growth of the buildings. First we had stone buildings, then we got steel building, glass buildings. So this all architectural growth can be seen through the monuments. These monuments are a blend of various styles of architecture brought by the rulers from across the world who ruled over parts of India and built tombs, palaces, and forts across their empires. So, India has been ruled by many kings and queens and rulers over decades and centuries. Sometimes we were ruled by Guptas, sometimes we were ruled by Mughals, sometimes we were ruled by Britishers. So all these rulers, they have brought their own style, their own culture from across the world, and they have built tombs. Tombs is which is their graves. When people die, they are buried in tomb. Palaces. The palaces were the places where kings and queens used to live. Forts. Forts were usually structures that used to protect people from the outside conquerors. Now, first monument that I want to talk to you about is Qutub Minar. So Qutub Minar is a red sandstone tower that was built by Qutubuddin Aibak in 1199. So it is so old. Imagine, it is so old. It was made in 12th century. It is now recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So UNESCO has termed Qutub Minar as World Heritage Site. So let me first show you how Qutub Minar looks for real. So see, this is Qutub Minar in Delhi. It is a huge tower, very tall tower. I've been to this place and it is very beautiful. So Qutbuddin Aibak, he had built this tower, and till today it is standing there in Delhi. So if ever you get to visit Delhi, go and check out this place. You will learn how the king used to live, what kind of palace they had, and how this monument, what kind of stones they use. And it has been declared as a national international heritage site by UNESCO, World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Now, the next monument that I want to talk to you about is Humayun's tomb. Now, Humayun's tomb, this is also in Delhi. It is a creation which shows a blend of Persian architecture. Persian means architecture from Iran. So, people from Iran, when rulers from Iran, they came and lived in India. So, it shows their architecture and Indian tradition. So, it is a mix of both Iran and Indian traditions, and it is built in the 16th century. The tomb is a square structure in red stone, and this is also a World Heritage Site. So this is the Humayun's tomb. See, it is a mix. See how two cultures are mixed together: Indian culture and Iranian culture, Persian culture. So they were mixed together to build this beautiful monument. Till today, it is in Delhi, and it gives an idea about how people used to live there. Now, next monument that I want to talk to you about is actually a city. The whole city is a monument. So I have been to this city. This city is called Fatehpur Sikri. Let me first show you. It is in Madhya Pradesh. It is near Gwalior. So this is the whole city. See, Fatehpur Sikri, and there are graves, there are tombs in the place of the city. So this entire city is monument. And the most important part of this city, or the most famous monument of this city, is this door. This is the door to the city. This door is called Buland Darwaza. Buland Darwaza, because it is a massive door. Look how tiny people are looking in front of this huge, gigantic door. You know, I've been to this place, and if you stand here and if you scream, then your voice will echo so much, because this door is so huge. So this is Buland Darwaza. Now, this city, Fatehpur Sikri means the city of victory. It was built by Emperor Akbar. It is a complex of monuments and temples. So like I showed you, there are graves, there are temples, there are monuments, and it also has one of the largest mosques in India, that is the Jami Masjid. Now let us move on to our next monument, which is the temple of our democracy. Yes, I'm talking about the Indian Parliament. See, this is the Parliament building of India. It is a beautiful building, and till today our politicians, our ministers, our MLAs, sorry, our MPs, members of Parliament sit here, and even our entire country is kind of ruled from here. All our decisions are taken here. So the Parliament House in New Delhi opened in 1927. It is a round circular structure, and it has 144 pillars and broad corridors. See, so 144 pillars are there, and there are broad corridors. And the world's largest democracy, which means India. India is the world's largest democracy. This is a fun fact for you. So it functions from this building. So all the decisions taken about how our country should be run are taken in this Parliament building. Next, uh, these monuments are not just about architecture or culture and heritage. They are also religious monuments. They sometimes we have got beautiful temples, gurdwaras, churches, mosques. So the diversity of religious monuments shows the tradition of religious tolerance in India. These monuments show that our country is so nice. We believe in unity in diversity. That means Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, we all come and live together in harmony and peace, and we have all built our monuments, and we respect each other's monument. In fact, we enjoy visiting each other's monuments. For example, I am a Hindu, but I enjoyed visiting going to Golden Temple, which is a Sikh monument, or I've been to churches in Goa, or I've been to mosques in Delhi. So I enjoyed being to these places, and even though I'm Hindu, I would love to go to these places, and I love to pay my respect to these places. So this is the tolerance that is ingrained in our culture. So my parents and in their parents before that, they taught us that we should love all religions, and this is possible only in India because we believe in unity in diversity. So let's see some of these monuments. Now, the first monument that I want to show you in this is the Khajuraho temple of Khajuraho. It's a beautiful temple. Oh my God. Just look at this. It's a beautiful temple where people go and worship. It is in Khajuraho. Then this is St. Paul's Cathedral. This is a church in Kolkata. It's a very stunning, beautiful church. See, it looks as if it is from Europe, but it is built in Kolkata. It is in India. Then there is this temple called this Shore temple. It is in Mahabalipuram. It is in Mahabalipuram, and this is also a beautiful place of worship. Next, I want to show you. See, these are some of the major monuments in India. I will be taking you through all of them. Like I told you, I will take you to north, I will take you to south, I will take you to west, I will take you to east. So, the next monument that I want to talk to you about is Sun Temple of Konark. See, this is the Sun Temple of Konark. Look, it looks like a chariot. Looks like the chariot of sun god, Surya Dev. So, the Sun Temple, situated in the eastern state of Odisha, is constructed as a chariot with 7 horses symbolizing the 7 days of the week. So there are this, see, it looks like a chariot, and this chariot has 7 horses. So each horse means 1 day. So every day the sun rises and the sun sets. So the sun god has 7 horses, and these 7 horses are the 7 days of the week, and 12 pairs of wheels symbolizing the 12 months of a year. So in a year we have 12 months. So the 12 pairs of wheels, say 12 wheels means years. So see, so deep philosophy is gone in building this temple, which carry the sun god. So this temple, it carries the sun god Surya Dev across the heaven. Now, what a beautiful thought. See, I don't know if you believe the sun god exists or not, but look at the philosophy, look at the culture behind it, that we believe, we even worship sun. Sun, we worship with so much respect, so much reverence, that it is our god, and it is traveling on 7 horses across the 12 months of the year. So this was built by King Narsimha Dev, who lived from 1238 to 1264, of the Eastern Ganga dynasty, to celebrate a military victory. He got a victory, and just like Akbar built Fatehpur Sikri, this king built Sun Temple of Konark. UNESCO has declared this temple as a World Heritage Site. So we should be very proud, because a lot of Indian monuments have been declared World Heritage Site by UNESCO. UNESCO stands for United Nations. Let me just Google it for you. UNESCO full form. Just a minute. So UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. It is part of United Nations. You will learn about this in your later classes. So let's move on. Taj Mahal. Wow, it's a stunning monument. Let me first show you. You will be blown away by its beauty. I've been to Taj Mahal, and it looks so beautiful, so beautiful. It looks even beautiful than it is looking in this photograph. It is a very beautiful white marble palace. So, built on the banks of river Yamuna in Agra. Agra is a city. The Taj Mahal was constructed between 1631 and 1653. It is a World Heritage Site today, and it was built by Shah Jahan. He was an emperor, he was a king, Shah Jahan, in loving memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. So when his wife passed away, Mumtaz Mahal passed away, he loved her so much that he built this monument for her memory. So sometimes people build monuments not just for cultural reasons, but also to remember their loved ones. This white marble wonder has a central dome that is 73 meters high. The structure combines Persian, Indian, Islamic and Turkish styles of architecture. So it has Indian architecture, Iranian architecture, Turkish architecture. So many architectures are there in this one temple, in this one fort. And you know what? It is known as one of the 7 wonders of the world. So it's a beautiful place, and all Indians, this is the most popular monument amongst the foreigners, and even Indians are very, very, very proud of this. So I will continue this trip across India in the next video. So quickly click on the next video, and thank you.